Hello, welcome to Sherriff Amenity Academy. My name is Matthew Brun, and today we're going to be looking at spreader calibration and application. It's vitally important that we make sure that our spreaders are calibrated perfectly, as this is how we're going to deliver the granular fertilizers or pesticides to the turf at the correct rates. If the calibration isn't done correctly, then the product may be misapplied, and we either end up with too much or too little. So spreaders can be calibrated in a few different ways, and we're going to take you through just a fast, simple and effective way of doing this. So today we're going to be using the Trojan 30 Plus spreader, and I'm going to be running you through the characteristics and the workings of how this actually operates. Before we begin the calibration and application, I'm going to give you a quick run through of the working parts of the Trojan 30 Plus spreader. The best place to start is with the hopper. And this is where we insert all of our products and material. As we look into the hopper, you'll notice a couple of extra parts that are inside here. Number one being the wire mesh at the bottom. And this is designed to break up any large particles of your fertilizer to make sure we get an even distribution all the way through. After we take this out, you will notice an agitator at the bottom here. And as we walk forward, this will spin around and make sure the product again is smooth with an even distribution. At the bottom of the hopper, you will notice that there is a hole. This is where the product is gravity fed onto the rotating plate. When the holes are open, granulars are gravity fed through this and strike a gear driven rotating plate, which distributes the granulars by centrifugal force. The amount of product that falls through these holes is regulated by an adjustable lever, usually located at the back of the hopper. The adjustable lever can be set on numbers or letters that correspond to the size of the hopper openings. With whatever spreader you're using, they're all factory calibrated. However, calibration should be checked occasionally to ensure optimum performance. And I'll give you a quick run through of how we do that. So number one, we're going to pull the on-off lever to the off position. Step 2, with the rate control plate, we are now going to adjust that to setting B, as per the manual. Once the control plate is set on B, we're then going to flip the on-off control lever to the on position. With this, we're going to check the port opening, and it should be just slightly open. And we make adjustments if necessary. We've had a good run through now of the basic working parts of the rotary spreader, and also we've double checked that it's 100% accurate from the factory setting. We now need to have a look deeper into getting an accurate calibration for the product that we're applying. In order to give you an accurate measurement of how much product that we're actually applying, you're going to need a few simple tools. You're going to need one measuring jug, a measuring tape, some scales, a dustpan and brush, some tape, and 7 seed trays. Items that everyone should have available. So with the materials we've got, we're going to set up a simple test. The first thing we're going to do is mark out a metre square on our hard surface. This is going to measure the amount of product per metre square. We then set the 7 trays at the end of the run, and this is going to tell us our effective swath width. We now have everything set up, ready to start our calibration test. We filled the hopper with about a third way up of product. With this, we're double checking the manufacturer's guidelines. With the product we're using, it's giving us the guideline of L, so that's our starting point. So I'm going to begin walking towards the trays and my metre square marked out, making sure that I switch the lever on after I've started walking. As soon as I get past the trays, I'm going to turn the lever off so no more product can come out. After applying this, what we will then be doing is sweeping up all of the product that's inside this metre square and then weighing the product. This will give us a clear indication for how much product we're applying per metre square. We've now sweeped up the product. We're going to do our first test, and as you can see, on the scale we're a little bit out. Our desired amount is 35 grams per square metre, and at the moment we're getting 25 grams. So now with this I need to apply slightly more product. To do this, I'm going to move my control plate one up, so it's going to apply a little bit more product, which hopefully will get us an accurate gauge of 35 grams per square metre. You will repeat this process until you get the desired amount spot on. Once you've done 3 to 4 passes, we're then going to have a look at what product is inside these pans. What you should see is in the centre pans and the pans that are closest to the spreader, this is where the most product will be. As you start going out to the outer pans, you'll see less and less product. In order to get an accurate measurement of our swath width, we need to determine how far this is. An easy and quick way of doing this is taking the contents from the centre pan and working outwards. You're roughly looking at half that on the outer pans. That will give you your swath width, and that's the distance that we're going to be overlapping by. So you now join me outside, okay, where we're ready to apply our product. After the quick, easy calibration tests we've done inside, we now know that we're putting on the exact required amount per square metre, which is 35 grams for us. We also know our exact swath width, so I can work out the exact requirements I need for my overlap. Before doing this as well, it's also important to remember that when filling the hopper with the product, that the lever is in the off position, so the product doesn't come out of the bottom. It's usually best practice to do this on a hard surface away from where you're applying. Also, before you apply the product, you need to ensure that you're wearing all appropriate PPE required. You can find this on your safety data sheets or on the Sherriff website. Fortunately for me, we're using a dummy product here today just for a demonstration, so there's no health and safety requirements needed. So I'm now going to start applying the product. For me, luckily, I'm going to be working towards the bays here, so I don't need to mark anything out. They're the exact swath width that I've measured out. Okay, so I can work towards the centre of these lines, and I know I've got an accurate dispersal of product. I'm going to be doing a single pass today at 35 grams per square metre. You can also do a double pass, okay, and this is where we do one pass straight up and down, and then another pass at a 90-degree angle. With this, we have it set at 17.5 to give us a 35 gram per square metre application. So, when applying the product, it's important to remember, okay, that we're going to be going at a nice even speed all the way down, and I'm working towards the middle of the bay. Also with this, you've got to remember not to push the hopper about or rock it back and forth, as this will affect the dispersal of the product. And also, they only put the lever on, okay, once you've started walking. So I'm going to crack on and do this area here. When you finish your application, be sure to just quickly insert the information into your turf record system to comply with all health and safety legislation. So we've now finished applying our product, so the only thing left for us to do is to just make sure it's ready for operation for our next application. With this, we're going to be washing it down, ensuring all the product is off the spreader, and also any points are greased and it's ready to go. So after we've finished doing all of our applications and we're ready to return the spreader, it's important that we wash down in the correct manner. And we need to remember a few steps. Number 1, never store material in the spreader. Return unused product to its original container. Number 2, wash spreader thoroughly after each use, making sure the port and pivot plate inside the hopper are clean of particles that could prevent the port plate from being flipped over easily. Allow the spreader to dry completely in the sun or a heated area. Number 3, grease the axle bearings in the frame. Oil the impeller shaft, bearing in hopper and pivot points on the shut-off linkage, and spring in the housing behind the rate plate. Number 4, remove the gear cover and wash the gears thoroughly and oil all bearing areas as shown. Reinstall gear cover. Number 5, gear mesh should be checked on a regular basis during high use periods. Clearance between the axle gear and pinion gear should be minimal but not tight. If adjustment is necessary, loosen the axle collar, set screw and hold the gears together. Slide axle collar against the gear support and tighten axle collar set screw. Spin drive wheel and gears should run freely and smoothly. Number 6. Impeller surface should be cleaned periodically to remove build-up of product. Build-up can cause the spreader pattern to change. And number 7, a quick check on the tyre pressure. I hope you've enjoyed and found it useful, the demonstration video for product application and calibration. For more information about anything we've talked today, please follow the links at the bottom of the page.